Yeah, I hear it. Okay. So now I can mute it.
This is the middle of nowhere, maybe Paris.
All right, got it. All right, good. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. Enjoy your trip.
See the place somehow.
All right, I'll talk to you soon. Have fun.
Really? Well, I guess it's, well, yeah, I hung out in the Fraser.
All right, guys, sorry for the delay, from technical difficulties. Yes, you got it working, you're good.
Yeah, we're going down. So we just went to Ireland last month. So I didn't just look here. Yeah, so we're going down. Back down. Get wine done, trial foods.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it takes a
Oh, it's Lindsay, I'm sorry, I got it figured out. I'm so sorry, Bonnie. I got it all taken care of.
Oh,
okay, and then.
Saturday. To see what we're hunting for.
Hey, you want me to? Wherever you like. You can just look like- Until I'm back. Today is your birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I should have let it go. I should have brought my. Okay, if everybody's ready, I'm gonna start recording. Everybody has an agenda?
No.
Where did it stop? With you, Joe?
Joe, he wants to keep everything.
Yep. All right. Yes. Oh, do you think he's downstairs then? I'll run down again. No, you already did it once. I'm like, no steps. You ain't that. You ain't that, Joe. I got, you sure? Did anybody, I'm timing it too.
Here's a copy if you have one.
Yes. Oh, and I didn't know if anybody else needed, I don't know who was that. Yep. You guys- you guys had to see last one.
Oh, yeah, so I'll get these.
Yeah. Oh, that's all right. Well, that's good.
So this is.
This is the front street right here. That's a fair extension,
That's the road that goes
but it's
down.
not gonna be eroded.
Oh, so they're gonna be- okay. That's why.
Well, we're gonna be, we maintain ownership.
No, they have. They're maintaining.
Sure, we have ownership and they.
No. No, it's theirs.
This,
That is the hotel, that's 40A. So that is what Verizon's currently has for their storage space. So that's the whole facility. So for that brick building. It's just a sheet. So if you're looking. Like, so this is. Kind of saying this. So that's the road. This now. This building doesn't actually get knocked down. It's that hotel.
Okay.
Because it was the, yeah, that was the. Already, that was the original. It's just very good memories. So that's the north. Side. So that's the bill. So across the street. what I should that's going down. So this street gets completely taken away from like here, and it's that. So this- and then entrances. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is.
No, it's
Thank you.
acceptable.
Yeah, exactly. So the yellow. So the yellow is going to be that new spot, whole red. is the front. See the hotel. So like the park is where should be right. Isn't it? Like kind of where we're seeing it's going to go over, right?
Further than much.
I don't know. So
I mean, it's with the street.
we're going to
I don't know. Isn't it like in the middle of the street, right, like in that?
Yes.
I know. Oh.
Pedestrian plaza,
Yeah.
that was the reason.
Is it good?
Yeah, so this whole side, like that.
What's your?
I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's
Uh,
right on time. Okay.
Right. Right, right. But then there's.
All right, so you want to get started then?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
All right, great.
Hey, yes.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
I see.
Don't you go.
All right, I'll come back down in.
I get- I get-
Nancy's come down, I mean,
That one, this side.
all right.
Then I'll let you go.
Right, so we're gonna go the new business, probably in eight, they come back and go there. See.
You're in charge, Joe.
All right,
That's you. I can go through the minutes. and-
yes, we go, we'll master everybody, we go the previous minutes. And then, make a motion. Minutes. September. Minutes.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. All right, so it's going to,
I don't have anything more to do business. Yep.
okay.
Okay. Moving along.
So, next thing, discussion is action discussion items. I just want to put items first. There, one of them is Eastern Development Project. Grant fee. B.H. Harris, Morview, agent, black, and West C, Department and Program updates. So, we go to, we're gonna skip A for right now to Steve. And we go right to item B is Harris, Morview, bench, black, and
Did you guys, I sent you over the application, if you guys want to review that and discuss thoughts, concerns. Ms. Harris wants to, have, I think, a bench and a memorial plaque placed in, Cal Park, in honor of Nicholas Harris and Kate Harris. So the, the naming application for the requirement.
Do we have any memorial benches already? Is this the first one?
I mean, yeah, I don't know if there's, I mean, there may be some that exist from past years, but I would say, I don't know if we really had that.
So is this something that would end up being potentially like a permanent structure? So like if it's there, we never do anything around that,
I mean, according to the naming policy, I mean, I think that's kind of what the idea is. Currently, she wants to purchase the bench. I believe she plans to maintain it, or the family plans to maintain it. They're not asking for any financial assistance or maintenance on our end. How often she plans to maintain it, or how, I don't know. I don't know that we really, once it's there, can move it. I mean, it's the same with Ken Bryan Festival, for instance. We don't really have a bench naming program specifically, but this does fall under as the memorial naming policy. The parks maintenance application that we created.
So that means anyone who would want to, set up a bench where they're one, but would be able to do so.
Yeah, there's a lot of concerns in there about, I'm not familiar enough with that process. So, yes, based on anything. People, a lot of people want to have things in the memorial bench. You just prove them, or is there criteria for that? Is there a time limit?
Well, it's the same criteria as the naming policy that was adopted like 6 years ago. So that same policy is what we follow for Ken Bryan Memorial Basketball. I don't know how it's going to be in the town center, but I think that's where that was also implemented. So really, if we were following that policy, we should be looking at where this request falls in there and for justification for wanting to name a certain after loved ones in this case. It's really the commission's, it's up to the commission's recommendation. That will then get passed on to the mayor. Then he decides whether or not he wants to submit that proposal to the council. And then from there, it's to general government.
So is this something that people are prepared to speak on or vote on tonight, or would you want to review it?
Sit it out.
Right.
Well, I'm not trying to put anything down by any means, but just two examples of Ken Bryan Bill and Work Center. Those were people that did work for our community, and I believe those were nominations made by our commission, not necessarily what's. Same thing with pavilions that we've done in the past, and stuff like that. We've done by people that were active in helping put things up, do things like that. Whereas, and I'm not trying to say anything about this family, I don't know them personally, but there wasn't really anything in the description of saying, he was, I mean, yes, he sat there every day, whatnot, but I don't know if he as a community member, what this person actually did. I don't want to say deserving, that's not the right terminology for it either. But kind of like Al said, if you can make the decision and say yes, we'll bring ourselves up to saying yes to anything that comes through. I don't know what we've done in the past. I don't know the answers to that.
And I don't, no,
Yeah, the Harris.
This is the same thing that, like you're saying.
The Harris
we
part.
discussed as far as, nothing against them, but
Right.
if you should do one, I don't know, it sets the precedent for the future.
They're gonna,
But,
they want it down.
but,
So.
and the Murphy Center, that was long. Drawn discussion with presentations for it and opposing. For that to happen. It was a big deal. Very huge deal. So, and the gymnasium.
Right.
Yeah, so I guess the real, at least from my perspective, the real thing that we consider is there is this naming policy that's out there. And I don't know how many of you have reviewed it. And so that was adopted by this commission. So I think it's probably important that everybody takes a look at that because details in that document basically allows for anyone to make these submissions. This is not,
Yeah, you certainly
Yeah.
submitted
yeah, and I'm just saying in terms of, it doesn't necessarily specify
criteria.
like, it doesn't limit certain, the only limitations are, there are limitations, I just mean, there doesn't necessarily say, it can't be a bench in a park, and it has to be a building, I mean, it really doesn't, it's pretty broad. And so as I would imagine, someone looks at that and has someone that they feel is worthy of having a bench named after them, I mean, it almost seems like you need two separate conversations, like maybe a building, sitting in a building after someone who's passed away and having impact on the community, may be different than this memorial bench or plaque program where people want to sign up to have these benches throughout the city named after someone. You know, have that.
I was just gonna
Distinctly
say
different
that.
criteria.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's, seems like maybe it's apples and oranges, what we've been reviewing versus this kind of request. And if nobody has any recent knowledge of something like this,
I have certainly seen them in other communities, I mean, then there's bing, 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 you know what I mean? Like,
We do have some around the city
Oh,
that
you
that
do?
were put in a
okay.
long time ago, before we come up with any kind of guidelines. And I think the guidelines are really for structures, not necessarily for benches.
or
And it's usually, anything we do is usually somebody that's highly involved with the rec department. So it's not just because somebody wants to memorialize, their husband or wife, which, not that that's a bad thing, but
I mean, that's, benches around.
on the rail
Rail
trail.
trail. Yeah, I mean, it's just another. thing to
So
consider.
there are benches there already, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, it keeps,
I mean, in that, not necessarily that park, but along that strip where I'm sure that person has sat many
Right.
times. That's why she wants to bring a
yeah.
Right,
bench for
right.
that person, but maybe that inside the park, let's see, coming down the fight for that park and future planning of actually having to move this bench and setting this family, down the road. But that's something that I don't want us to get away with. Well, the commission approved this bench to be in the spot, and then we want to build, I don't even know, if the city decides to build something. And, right, and, now we have to spend, I don't know any of those legal, implications.
So should we? Maybe look at it?
I mean, I would like to maybe offer her a chance to come in and speak. Is that more a possibility? If she wants to make a presentation, discuss our concerns with her to see if she's, willing to accept maybe some terms.
Yeah, maybe there has to be like a notice, like a,
Yeah.
Right.
notice of movement or change or something,
Right, for down the road.
She could write something up, she didn't necessarily have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, right,
Just
right.
saying, what's the reason for this?
Well, she did, right. So
Right.
she
And I
did.
gotta be honest,
It wasn't much of.
I have a feeling that the things that I've seen, people just did.
Yeah.
Before any guidelines and, the old saying, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. I think people just went ahead and did it. And, hopefully nobody was going to question it. And I don't think anybody has, but I see some surprise looks, that there are such things around. So, we might want to think about, coming up with some guidelines for this, this, may be an ongoing thing, especially if we grant one, that's going to open the doors for more. So we might want to be prepared to have, a list,
Right.
a list of criteria for doing it. Not just that they got $500 there. Right. Prevention. Yeah, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, there might be a almost like another area. Not the same. Or structure. So things that we might want to see on that in that new policy. Was this recent, they were donating?
Yeah.
Well, that's.
So they said, it's very hard to enforce that as well. I mean, God forbid, something happens to this, this woman as well. Yes, she says in the description, we will take care of it for life. But, people move, people, do things like that. And, inevitably, the city's going to be responsible for this bench.
That doesn't,
What's about it.
that doesn't really bother me.
No.
It would be responsible for the benches of.
But that's what that's more or less. what
Yeah.
I mean. The convention's already down there. And then, if we have to maneuver it or whatnot, we have to still control. It's not necessarily that we're taking this person's name. I don't know.
So we can look at the policy.
Yeah.
Discuss that and see if it's, we could probably just amend that.
Yeah.
To include pensions.
Right.
And other memorials. And then for the more global picture to do that. And then, are there criteria and if so, what are they? And does this meet them? So. Do it and make sure limited, say, no more than 3 benches a year.
Or stop.
You want to be, acts. Years. It's.
Right. Right.
So I think the best thing is to make the policy. I think it's best to have it before. So details.
Yeah, I mean, she did, just to be clear, she did put together this application. But, she put her, she followed what was asked of her, I mean, I will say that.
Maybe we reach back out and ask her to amend her submission, ask for the more beyond that, that's already now.
The one-
Because they're all the same.
Right.
Well, that's the other thing I wanted to mention is, we're trying to move towards kind of, more consistency in our parks, trying to have the same types of trash cans, same types of benches. And just thinking, now that we're talking about it, it's, that's something we have to consider when reviewing the guidelines. That if something is approved, we have to be willing to be in uniform with what else we have in our parks. We're not,
And subject to change in the future, something that it, not that you throw it out and get rid of it, but that it be moved if the city needs to use that.
Move or change to the fire, whatever it is on what needs to be at that time. Versus having a line of benches and then we have another line here. You understand what I'm saying? So simplicity. So, on that, note, I think we should table this. And if we all can communicate by email, fast response, even me, probably. I'm not too bad, but then we can, come back to this and email what you need over policy again, and by next month. And between that time, they can come in and have a small presentation, maybe thorough what they did, the application and stuff. So they present to us. That's okay with everyone?
We want to make sure that we have our policy updated first.
Right, that.
Do you need
Well,
have all
They have the
this-
opportunity.
They have, yeah, options open, but,
Have
you
to.
know,
Wouldn't the person present something probably like make a mistake?
Yeah.
Or is it-
Did she say? she wanted to? Did-
I will
did she
go
give us
by this winter anyway.
Yeah. No, she submitted this after the July, it was after the July meeting happened, and then we were off in August. September, we discussed it. But we needed to review the application, so we tabled it.
so I think that's really good. That's real better. Right, so we'll take this, to the next,
Actually, and review the policy for.
I think that's probably most important, just so that everybody understands what it actually says. Following our own policy.
okay, so now we're gonna be, jump back to, A, Eastern Community Development Project. Grant.
Yeah, it's, there is no, it doesn't, the guidelines, no,
I just
for,
want to make sure, so that,
executive session, it would have to involve medical, financial, employment history, anything to do to current litigation. But it's-
it's of us. I just gonna, I guess, we're gonna make a decision. On the, right, everybody have a chance to review it thoroughly. I think the question is, I'm sorry, the question that's on everyone's mind, was just, do you know what the fee is that we're waiving?
Well, we're making a decision on if there is a need for the right fee, and if so, what is that number? So total units, 143, the first four are exempt, so 139 units. The max fee, is $3,000 per unit.
See,
That's a flat fee.
that's a flat.
That's just the max that you can assess to any of stuff. Similar with the other projects that we've had to look at. Our goal is to determine, any possible impacts, to park spaces or programs with this new development. What's unique about this proposal, though, is that they are offering a public community space, as well as public bathrooms. They are maintaining, there's no maintenance responsibilities that fall on the Parks and Rec Department. And in terms of operation and hours, the developers at the last meeting told us they'd be following the same rules as the city, which is courthouse. So
If I figured it out, right, it's $417,000.
that's the max, that's, you just can't exceed that. No, you know, I mean, the way the policy reads is that 2,000 is the max you can assess per unit for any proposed level. With the first one.
I think that we've done that. We charged the max on each of the new buildings that we assess. So, but this is a little different.
But many of them don't have any park space at all, right? And with the park space, I was trying to figure out exactly what that was.
Oh, we done that one.
Yeah.
Proposed. Right.
This is the North Front Street where that picture. So you can see, walk through here. And that's your plaza.
So the park space, what's listed as the pedestrian plaza.
But there's also recreation facilities in this side, right, for. the-
Right, yeah. Right, so they have all the amenities for things. Right, it's really gonna be not necessarily need. You see, parks, it's totally different from other developments. Where we need, where we need. Definitely. So that a lot of that. Like I say, city actually think facility, some sort of speak. Persons out of town. Whatever, rights and everything back. It's not the city's. There was. So. These some of the highlights. You never see that. Yeah, I mean, I listened to the meeting minutes, based on what was in the last meeting that was not here. But as you can see, I mean, I don't know if anyone else has seen this on Andrea's gracefully enough to kind of provide our show. But you can see we do have the pedestrian, yes, there's a pedestrian plaza. That's for public access, based on, the presentation and whatnot, as well as, the walkway and things like that. And as Joe mentioned, in this project itself, they had their own community space. They don't necessarily have to provide pavilions and whatnot with that. And they also have their own terrace, which is over this corner here, which is a good sized space, and that is for their own members of that, living in that space. That's both. So they do have the amenities like you mentioned. So it's not like I can't speak for the fact that do I think they're not going to use our parks. I'm sure they use our parks. Why wouldn't they use our parks? But at least they have the option. Whereas a couple other projects that we looked at, they didn't really have those.
And we charge $0.70.
Because they didn't have any space, because it was literally, they would be using all parks. Whereas with this project, they have the ability to keep their own, they have their own growth spaces, they have the potential, they bring it up. Like I said, and they have the public plaza itself, that they are opening up as an additional, I don't want to call it park for us as a Parks and Recreation, but there is another park for the public with public bathrooms, similar to what we have down at Gallup Park, similar to what we have at Forsyth, all the amenities that we provide are being provided in this project in some way, shape,
How do we know that it's going to be
or form.
open and remain open?
So the path will be up to my regulation. That it will be to us. So the back, well, that's just not enough.
This is all year.
Yeah, so all year round. Is that what we normally do with our own public restrooms?
Our restrooms, I mean, the water bathrooms, I mean, those units aren't going to be a composting toilets, right? So they are handled a little bit differently. Usually shut down our facilities in November. Or about, yeah, November, and then they get reopened, the first week of April, maybe second week.
And they're open 24/7.
No, close them overnight except for on the weekends.
And I believe that, like I said, they are, right, yes.
So it wouldn't be available for the holiday.
No, no,
Yeah.
ours wouldn't be available. This one would. Yeah, like, we hosted our parks are not available. Like we said, past November. Theirs is going to be open all year.
All day.
That's still going, so.
Right, and that does, there's a lot of holiday events that are uptown Kingston that are.
I wouldn't
Tree
treat, I
lighting.
mean, I can't speak for them by any means, but you're right. Just like, there's nothing there to begin with already. We don't have any bathrooms there either. So to me, it's just an added amenity to our community for that.
Which has been brought up as a concern that uptown does not have public restrooms
Right.
for anyone.
For anyone.
We have a lot of shoppers, people walking around, and, I think a lot of us have seen, can't really just walk into a restaurant and someone's restaurant. So,
Besides the city's stairs.
This project is going to happen, so, and they're providing some information. So, but I think that we have to assess them some amount, because we can't say that everyone there is just going to be facilities that they're providing, we know that they're going to come to the park. There's nothing like anyplace else like our parks that we have here. The views that we have, even if you're just going to hang out just to be, take in the sun. So I think what we need to do is come up with a number, or how many feel that there should be any amount charged to them for recreation.
I see a huge benefit to the community for this, with the restrooms being there. More walking space, businesses, if people housed there, are going to be free from those businesses. But, I don't know. So, well, you did. But I agree, so, if you charge people $3,000 per unit, and if they're unit, the people in those units are not, also they're not provided with any recreation activity. And there's no real benefit to the community of arts and recreation. And so they would charge the maximum. If it's within our ability, I would think that we could at least consider charging less than the maximum. Don't know what that would be.
It's not arbitrary now. That's the tough part about it, is you said, finding out what that number is.
Well,
And it's a one-time fee.
it's a one-time fee.
It's a one-time fee, and, there's going to be people coming and going, these are apartments, right? So there's going to be turnover of tenants there, and they're still going to have access to the, so I think we should charge something.
What do you think?
I don't know. What? 50%, 33%, $1,000 a unit? I'm not sure.
No, that's
$200.
$1,000 a unit would be $139,000.
I mean,
Is
and
that,
would
is
be
that a lot? Is that too much? Is that not enough? Is that?
I don't think $1,000. I mean, we're going to be maintaining these parks, forever.
Not their parks.
No, not
Our
that
future
part,
parks.
not that part. So, but I don't know, I mean, what do the people think?
Is that an option? Like, in the policy, like, or can you do whatever you want? I
In
didn't
terms
know,
of the
like-
number, oh, yeah,
Oh,
so, yeah, there's
Is there
not,
flexibility there? I was just.
yeah, the number, I mean, but
Okay.
it should be based on, what we're supposed to do is look at the overall impact on the parks, on our programs, on our facilities. And so in this case, they're offering public community space on top of their own facilities for their residents. They have a pool, a dog park, there's there's restaurants, so you have to kind of look at it overall. And I will say that, so the max fee would be to 417,000. The amount of construction, maintenance over a lifetime for as long as their facility exists, I would imagine exceeds $417,000. The city, this is basically providing a community public space that doesn't currently exist. And that's just something to consider. There's
Well, part of it is going to be actual public. The walkway.
There's a little park or something, right?
Yeah, the pedestrian plaza. So this is,
That's the walkway.
Yeah,
if you want to see the plaza itself, it's long, it's wider than the street already.
That's the street and sidewalk.
wide. Yep.
I mean, so rather than have all these festivities that they have on town in the streets, they'll have a location that they have.
Well, I think they'll still be the same way, just as an addition. I mean, I'm sure there's still, I would assume if they're doing the Snowflake Festival, they're still going to pull it down the streets,
Oh,
whatnot. Because that gives advantages to all the shop owners that are on the streets. To still be able to do it. I think it's just an addition. I don't think they're going to take away.
okay. So
That's a good.
I would like to have my
Right,
that's
good for it. Yeah, it's good for local businesses, it's good for, I mean, again, I work with them, and you do as well. Sure, you see musicians that are out and about, that are playing, and that's a space for them as well. I mean,
Right.
There's, so,
I'd like to see the streets open.
yeah,
And it's safe, right?
Is that it running?
I mean, I don't. What you would say.
I think it will be. But,
To me, personally, I think that we look at these there.
right, so we don't charge for $3,000. So this should,
But the-
does anybody feel like they should charge them?
I mean, I feel like we put these to be in place for the fact that a lot of these parties don't even have space available for their own residents, not even for the public. This product is both, where it covers their own residents already in that terrace area. So they give them an option to not have to enter space. And then we also get to use their own space, which is also good. It's not the largest park in the city by any means. But still, it's a space that's there for the public. And again, not have to maintain. To me, like I said, we assess these projects in the past as well, in the future. So what is going to be the hindrance of the new units to our parks? And what's going on, whereas they are providing solutions. They're, like I said, they're providing solutions for their residents that are already there. And they're providing a solution for the public to also enjoy another park. So to me, I think they've covered their bases. Therefore, I don't necessarily see us kind of charging them. I think they, like I said, they covered adequately.
We're gonna have another 500 residents
Basically.
Yep.
300 plus new consumers.
300 plus what?
I mean, I'm just reading what everyone else is reading, so on page 8. Consumers, 300 plus. Not.
No.
But that's what they're providing to their.
That's right.
Did you see basketball court?
Yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
You guys are seeing basketball courts all over.
Oh.
You see basketball? No, I did not see that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I see it. But I mean, like I said, they have it going far. They have recreation.
But that's for them.
That's for them.
Right.
And then, so that's what I'm saying, so like, we assess this because these new units won't have amenities for the people that are going. They have the amenities, and then some. So that's just my thought process, is that they covered their bases with that. And like I said, and are including space for the rest of the city. That we don't. I could be wrong. I mean, that's, everyone else, please, speak.
Well, the 300 plus.
Yep.
Is that like, that's like 2 people?
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of different, so there's, and I don't know the numbers of those, but, there's more single units than there are doubles and triples, but it doesn't look like there's a number like this map that shows. But that's why 300 plus, I think they feel comfortable by saying it's gonna be a minimum, for sure. So that means that 143 units, they're counting on 2 people a unit. That makes sense. That's their estimates. I'm sure, I mean, again, I have no idea. Criteria looking there, I don't know anything about that, I'm just looking at the project.
Well, it's a variety of, it's non-affordable.
Well, I'm more or less meaning, is there a maximum,
Right.
there's only have 3
14
units.
affordable housing apartments,
Right.
129 apartments.
Yep.
And then 32 hotel rooms.
But I don't think we're voting on the hotel.
No.
Just the apartments. The hotel is completely separate. And I don't, so. So
That would be the
yeah, just 100. So 300 people with their own terrace, what we see here, as well as the. This is, I was just talking to Andrea real quick. Does anyone remember how many units were in the gold? That we just reviewed. Was it 106? 106, 106. And there, like I said, there was no open space. Were they going to provide us with? There was, yes, they had sitting areas and certain things like that.
but no.
Nothing that was going to.
Like, they have to-
Right. Yeah, you need.
No, this is the first.
So there'll be more.
I hope that. I hope so. This is the first new construction I think we've seen in the city in my lifetime for sure. Something like this. So I hope that would be wonderful. I have to go on that again. To see what they're gonna. Right, I use this as a benchmark forward. It'd be nice to see, this is what we have, this is what we do.
So, to me, city is using tax dollars or teaching stuff.
Not based on this package.
They're saying, no, I don't know
Yeah.
the accuracy.
Discussion.
But that's not what we're.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, these dollars are also, city dollars as well. Going to benefit the city of Kingston, maybe that's district, I'm not sure, but definitely the Parks and Recreation Department. So, I don't know. I don't know how I'll vote, but I feel that there should be something assessed. This is wonderful that they're offering these amenities to these, to potential residents there. I just don't think that there's going to be, these people are not going to be going, whenever they think about recreation, that they're going to go to, to the workout room, to, to swim, to work out, and not think about going to any of the parks.
Each state.
Stadium, that's just my, I'm not saying to charge $3,000 a unit, but I just can't see the city losing and not gaining something, some financial benefit of this as well. I mean, I know there's a benefit because we don't have to pay maintenance or, money to maintain the, facilities, I mean, the park that they're offering and, bathrooms that they're offering.
If you look at it in increments, 3,000. To look at it in $5 increments, $5 million would be close to 70.
I mean, I definitely, just from, I understand what you're saying as well, but the arbitrary number for us is, we can number, I would say, well, I think it should be 500,000. We don't have any criteria for that.
Can't just.
And we can't justify it. Exactly. So maybe in the future, we come up with guidelines for, like Al said, there's going to be more projects coming down this road.
Well, we have a
Great.
$3,000.
For
3,000 is the max, but what I think, so, as an example, you said 500. You have to be able to explain where, what the calculation is to that, number. For a smaller project that's not offering green space, like example before, we had imposed, the maximum fee because there was essentially nothing being offered to the residents there. I think we all agree that there could be serious impacts on our programming, our facilities, parks. And so I think with this one, the question is, what are those impacts, if any, and how much of an impact will we see?
Well, there'll be 300 plus people,
with access to,
300 plus people.
with access to their own terrace as well as the new pedestrian plaza. Now,
They'll be
We can talk about-
benefiting the uptown business because they'll be walking.
so what would the cost be, if you want to look at it again from arbitrary numbers, what would the cost be is if we decided to put in a pedestrian plaza, if that $500,000, we'd be over $1 million.
But that's what I had said before is, I don't know what all the numbers are, all the specifics in terms of construction, maintenance over time, but I would imagine it will exceed the maximum.
I think just the relative making of this pedestrian plaza is going to exceed that number as well.
Maybe they'd like to present an opportunity.
I think it was, I think the number is 0, which is what they're requesting.
And ours is 417,000.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's a broad And there's a huge benefit for the businesses. There's,
That's not, but
all of that stuff is for their positive, and they have recreation facilities. However, the 300 plus people will also use the parks. With some-
All of those apartments sell or rent or whatever.
Yeah, there's some percentage of them will go to the parks, some every day, some once a year, once in a lifetime. So what will that impact be? And it's really not able to be, I don't know. How many people- We don't count how
we
many
can't
people.
be
use
very
that.
hard to use that. Which is true. So I agree, it's something to assess. So,
But I agree with you. Too much, 3,000. Something, well, that's it. If there's something, well, that's it.
I just feel that we have to justify that cost or that number. And how do that,
Well, the $3,000, you can justify is, you can go with $3,000.
but I think, right.
All right, but, you know, and I don't know if you that's ever justified. Is there $3,000? How do you know that that's $3,000? I don't know, somebody made that.
yes, they do.
So, and that's what we've been going on. So is there a number that we want to use? Between 0 and half of it? Because they have a lot of stuff in play. And this is just rambling my mind. So it may not make sense.
Questions like these, we can't make this decision.
I mean, you know, I think that we should try, I mean, listen, if there's still lingering questions that we have for the developers, which, I mean, I asked everyone to pull lists together, no one really had any additional questions, so to me, I don't see a reason that we want to delay it further. If
No.
we have all the facts, if we have all the numbers, I think it really just, I think that, you know, we need to make our recommendation one way or the other, so that the planning board can take that into consideration, you know, when they make their determination. Ours is a recommendation. It's passed on to the planning board, they then decide, you know, steps.
So the planning board can still decide to say, and they can go up their arbitrary, by saying Parks and Rec Commission wants the full 3,000, or the Parks and Rec Commission wants 0. We are going to come in and say they need to pay 500, 1,000, 1,500.
I mean,
Or,
But they can say,
yeah,
right.
right. So if we think that that we should be getting, some amount of money, then we have to present a number. You know, because it
And the
doesn't
planning
have
board
to
can make
be
that
accepted, you know, but at least it's a number. And I don't know. You know, you're saying that there has to be a reason, you know, some kind of justification. I mean, just how do you justify anybody,
Any number,
you know,
3,000
using
or 0. Because you can't justify the
Parks
0.
don't charge a fee to get in, so, you know, so we can't say based on. the
You
fact
can't
that-
charge 0 if you look at the justification, because someone will be using.
but it's the impact, I guess, is what we're gonna look at, you know, and of course, people are gonna use, especially the nearby facilities.
First side would be the primary.
Stadium and baseball in that area,
Travis to release.
David?
I was asking Travis to say.
Oh,
About common council, so we can make our recommendation, and it goes to the common council. The common council can then say, we've seen the recommendation or heard the recommendation from the Parks and Rec Commission. But whether, so if we say, we decide we want to charge them $3,000 a unit, they can just come back and say, we're not going to charge them anything.
no, you're going plan.
Or plan.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Come in and say, we want to charge $1,000 a unit. The planning board will come back and say, we want to charge them 3,000. We want to charge them 2,000. So ultimately, we're not in charge of coming up with that. That is not on us to come up with that, because we don't have that. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to make a recommendation on if we should charge them the fee or not charge them.
Question for you as the director is, do you see an impact as a result of the custodian on our parks or recreation?
I mean,
And if so, how significant, because you know more about this than I do.
oh, as you said before, Travis said, this is the first project of this kind that has been brought to me since my time in this position. So it's not like we have much to compare it to. If proposal is stating there's going to be 300 new residents, we're not sure until we get numbers and projections, don't final numbers, but, seniors, I mean, it seems like it's geared towards seniors and empty nesters, that's kind of what the developers are saying. I don't know that we're gonna see a lot of children necessarily, but that's not definite. When I think of the parks and I think about programs, I think of what we offer the most. Most of our programming is geared towards children. So that's kind of where my mind has been at, trying to see, we have 50 more kids signed up for summer camp. They're saying they don't think they're gonna have many kids. I don't. We're just basing it off of the projections. So it's kind of hard to say. I'm looking at what they're providing. They're providing a community space, providing public restrooms. That's more than any other development that we've seen so far. So.
That sounds more like a concern for the city overall.
What?
Providing bathrooms to the public and,
That falls under.
Well, if it's in a public space, I mean, most of our restrooms throughout the city, all of them are maintained by our staff. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. So do we have to come up with a number or can we just say, well, we think that there's, I mean, that we think that there's a need to, that we think that it's fair for them to pay some portion of the $3,000? Or do we have to come up with a dollar figure?
Yeah.
And then.
Is there, the question is, or is there a waiver for it? Because that's the ask. The ask is waive the full fee. And so,
Who's asked?
isn't that
There's
the
no.
question?
Well, we're supposed to make a recommendation. It's not necessarily whether or not to waive the fee. It's recommending, hey, should there be a fee? And if so, what is
Oh, we
that
do have
fee? I mean, that's at least the way it was handled in the previous development.
Yeah, well, that was easy because.
Pretty clear.
I just think going forward, I mean, if we give a number, I think we need some kind of formula, how we
Yeah,
came to that, just in the future, if it's a little bigger development or smaller, this is our first go at this. I don't know, I think there needs to be a more
Percentage.
written, more
Yeah, the breakdown
specific, yeah.
definitely should be there.
some type of formula.
I'm not formula, but just,
Well,
because I just think this could present future, but knowing that no one's ever done this before, that's what
And,
makes it.
and for the next development, it comes in and builds those additional ones. If you recommend a zero pay, a full waiver, you do that for the next one. Next one. Or do you say, no, it's 3,000, or no, we're going to charge 10%, 20%.
Well, you can't do that.
part of. So we can get base on. You got.
But you set a precedent.
But
We set a precedent for this one. It's gonna be brought up at the next one.
well,
For sure. One way or the other. If you go with the 3,000, you go with 0,
I
you go
yeah.
with 60,000.
And I agree with that 100%. And I think we need some sort of guideline for that. But that might, that obviously, I can't have it. I don't. So, but I agree with you. Similar to what we kind of discussed with the bench.
Same
No,
thing.
I agree with that. Yeah, and I'm with you 100%. But we don't have any of those guidelines. And I think we could put that committee together to go over those guidelines and to try to figure that out, but I don't think we can do that for this project. I mean, if we make the decision on this project, what we want to do, and then, in the future, we can, like you said, there could be more projects going down the road that's similar to this. It's exciting to see for our city. And at least if we can see if this one gets through the first hurdles.
Consider accusing myself. I am so sorry. Never. What's that? Yes. And there's always the potential that something of this magnitude could go there.
Nothing forward on that.
No, nothing to do with this. It's forward, it's just that, and I don't know that I need to review myself, which corporation council. Because if something related to that project, I need to not be biased. So I don't know if I should accuse myself or not. I needed to make that clear that I'm in that position. But that's a concern that just popped up. I should share. It has nothing to do with the record. Nothing.
Steve, we asked him his opinion, as being our liaison to the common council. Whatnot. What do you think?
Well, here's what I would say administratively speaking. Because as you all, I'm sure know by now, I am not here voicing any opinion in this matter. I was part of the body that crafted the legislation about the fees. And certainly in hindsight, we probably should have addressed the in-between a little bit more, or we could say the maximum of this. We should have put some guidelines, but that's neither here nor there right now. Unfortunately, for you folks, and this body is strictly advisory, not administrative anymore. So your task, as uncomfortable as it is, such as life, you really have to make a decision, recommendation, one way or the other. Whether you feel bad about it, whether you feel good about it, ambivalent about it, really, you don't have a choice. This is your function. And when this is put before you, you really, you can't say, well, what it offer. You really can't. And, you'd be making it difficult on everybody else, including
you know, the planning board, they want to move forward. They don't want this hanging over the head. They need a recommendation from you. And it is, as everybody said, it's a recommendation. So, you know, you can't lose sleep. They're going to do what they think is best, whether they agree with you or they disagree with you. Ultimately, they're going to do what they think has to be done. So, you know, don't feel bad. Don't feel obligated. Don't feel. You don't have to have any feeling. You really should take your feelings, and I think that's what Al's trying to say. Is it, you know, this is not easy. This is not easy. Something like this is never easy, but you signed on for this. So, you know, you're all big boys and girls now. So, you know, you got to take the bitter with the sweet. You know, you're doing a job like this because sometimes there's not a lot of people that want to do this kind of job. You know, we have numerous vacancies on, you know, different boards and commissions because people they don't want to put themselves out there. People have. I mean, I did this for 20 years, you know, and there was a tough choice to be made. But I think moving forward, so, you know, that part has to be done. But moving forward, I think, you know, the general opinion is, you know, we got to craft that document a little bit more to help everybody out in the future. And it might be you guys, you're helping yourself out. But it's going to be very tough to put a dollar figure on. You know, it's easier to say yay or nay. You know, either nothing or the whole thing. You know, that's the easy part. It's very difficult coming up, you know, with a number. I don't know if you've ever served on a jury. Well, it's kind of the same thing. You get in there. Sometimes a jury, you have to come up with a number. And that is really tough. And I was on a jury like that one time. It's really tough. With the figure, it's just so many things are arbitrary. And it's just your opinion as to what's going to happen to that person who just filed a lawsuit in the long run. We don't know. And we don't know about a lot of the things here we're guessing at is how many people are going to be here when they sing. How much are they going to use? What farms are they going to use? Lindsay can't say, you know, this means I'm going to have to put a crew out an extra day a week, you know, to pick up trash. And she has no way to determine that. You know, by the same token, I'm sure you guys have been thinking about this. You know, I don't know if it keeps you, you know, sometimes things like this keep you awake at night. Thinking about things like this and who it's going to affect. But bottom line is, you are the people. You are the ones that make the decision. I can't help you with that.
Right. So,
Can you just speak to the original purpose, since you said that you were part of backing of this?
Yeah, when we come up with that. And
Yeah, what was the original purpose for choosing to have this process? What was the rationale?
that's the thing.
because you have a complex of, you know, 6 or more units coming in, you know, that may or may not have people in it that are going to impact the services. That's really, it's very simple. We didn't invent this. You know, Kevin and I saw it someplace else in action, and we decided to give it a shot. And yeah, there is an impact. You get 300 people coming in, it may or may not, and I don't think, you know, over the years, I don't think there were many proposals that came forth, you know, that had a lot of amenities. Usually it's just buildings. You know, you didn't see that. You know, there were talk of some that, you know, they were going to put in parks and stuff like that, but they never came to fruition. So this is kind of, as Al said, this will be a precedent here. one way or the other, yes. For better or for worse. This is probably the first one that I've sat in. I can't even.
That's about it. That's about all I can tell you.
Does anyone have anything else they wish to voice before we potentially vote?
So we're voting yes or no?
So is, yes and no. Or is it-
You're voting on whether or not this development to, if we need to impose a fee in lieu of floodplain. That's, I believe, the exact title of the document. It's the rec fee in lieu of floodplain. Looking at all the documents, looking at all the figures of what's being provided to residents, what's being provided to the community, what impacts could we potentially see on our parks, programs, and facilities. From there, we are to make a recommendation on whether or not there's a fee, and if so, what should that be?
So this time. And right? Well, that's the
Starting with me. I have to wait not to. Until 3,000 for them provided what they are going to give to the public as well as their own people who live there. I think a situation like this, when you have that available to you, I think they do use it for people living there. Not that they wouldn't go to parks and they're totally missing out. But if we had a medium, I have a hard time. So I'm going to say.
Awesome. I've never seen a project like this, and I hope that we get more. Okay, and this is a step for that. When we were talking about that bench thing, and I said that other communities have that, you know, and when you go to new towns or whatever, you're seeing projects like this. There's a living area, there's retail, and I'm hoping, because I don't know, if they had that community space, but we have been offered that. Hope that we had that space all the time. I really, really do. I just have to, I think, just like you said, $3,000 is a lot. And I'm excited for the program, for that project. I really, really am. I have to say, for a fee.
Is the vote just $3,000 or not?
But I- how-
That's the maximum amount.
Right.
That was just a
Say,
question. I have to recuse myself.
Yeah, definitely is something that is new. I think it would choose a way that the way that development, consideration additions that would be inclusive to the public streets. I think maybe the original intent of it was because they had those type of amenities. So we have of the city spaces to accommodate people that are in need. So it looks like they got all three some things that are going to be beneficial to the community that are already here, as well as taking care of that are going to be living that is too much on our spaces. So I think for the vote, yes or no, without a functional opinion of it, it would be, you know,
To piggyback on everything I said before, as well as we all discussed, just the name of the fee itself. Fee blue of fun. And to me, they provide fun. So therefore, I'm an advocate, right? Advocate of parkland. At the moment, again, like, it could change down the road of what adequate parkland means, what this community space could mean as well, but at the current time frame, based on what we're asked to find on, in lieu of parkland, I do not think that there should be something.
Well, I feel that this all sounds great, you know, idealistic. And I feel that there in the city of Kingston, but do I think that they should pay $3,000? No, I don't. Do I think that some fee should be paid? I say yes to that. So I don't know how much that would be because, you know, like I said, this is the first time. So I want to say yes, but since we have, you know, no way of, you know, we're setting a precedent here, you know, I don't know if there will ever be a project like this. I would say yes. I think that there should be some you know, I know it's in lieu of parkland, but realistically, our parks and recreation facilities will be impacted in some way. I'm going to say yes, even though.
Sure.
I'm going to agree with you.
Sure, sure.
That's the way, that's the, see, it's like, because, you know, idealistically, all of this could be different. I mean, we may be looking at, you know, the people who are developing this may be looking at it being for people who don't have children or, you know, but that can change. There should be some type of thing, but I don't know what a dollar figure would be for that. That's just the way.
The last vote. I use project, major project now that's revised. Some of the living quarters, with that, everything. And to me, this is something he's never had. To me, this is something that you would never know what's there until it gets there. And then when it gets there, it could be like, wow, it's so beautiful. I just want, and I like to do working order. And this is very clear to me personally about what's going on here, and what they're doing to enhance the uptown area and keep security. And also the attraction that's going to bring up there just think that it's done right. I take it into consideration. Sort of advisory, everything else. Listen to all the commissioners here. And everybody has a solid value. But I have to. No. So looking forward to enhancing the time period. To the party there, to the department of regulation. We're going to be using these facilities also. And see the change is good sometimes. That's for everybody. I just wish the best. I wish that everything was paper. Will be up there. Look at it. I wish that all work on clarity and the things done the right way. So that's my reasons. I just would like to thank everybody for taking the time to go on this project. I pray that we all look forward to working together as a team, being strong in all sorts of ways, making decisions. I also like to request that when it comes to this in the future, that we have a number breakdown. That's necessary for us to know, for us to have. I think it's relevant, it's very important. I agree. So that's my conclusion.
All right.
Now, is that a request we can ask to common council, who we would ask to review that policy again to potentially get something like this going forward?
I think we could just amend the current policy.
Yeah.
Do we need approval? I want to run by.
Oh, I'm sure we would get
Corporation
approval. If it was like a voted document by council, I think we would have to, would we have to make a request to amend it? Right,
Trying to remember, yeah, it must have been voted on by the council. I don't recall, but it had to be, yeah. So, yeah, we would have to get the amendment.
Slowly, I have the whole department program updates. I will let you know that everything is running well. You guys are in good hands. Yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
seriously though, our summer programs are officially over. We are in full swing of fall programs.
Lindsay, I have to go get my granddaughter, but I just want to say, you probably heard we passed the phase 2 for Point last night. We passed the
Yes.
bond ordinance,
Oh, great.
so everything is good.
Very good.
Everybody really felt positive about it, especially me. I've been looking for that for forever, it seems like.
Yeah.
So that's very exciting stuff. So.
Is that, say that's the point? Okay, phase 2. So that is the direction of the playground?
No, the playground's open.
Yeah, no, right, yeah.
The parking lot is really what I'm.
Okay.
On the other side,
They
to breathe and level up.
Oh, great, okay, so it's not gonna be just the wetlands, right?
Right.
There are going to be some wetlands.
Yeah,
right?
there's some that we can.
Some designated wetland.
But at least the
Parking
parking
lot's
lot.
going to be usable again. So it would be nice.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I said last night. You know, people have the impression it's just softball players. You know, it's not just softball players. It's BMX, the dog park, people who use Rotary Park here. I mean, it's people use it just to go down there, go jogging out on the streets. I mean, it's a well-used facility down there, but the parking has been atrocious. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the change. 2 elections ago, my opponent actually blamed me for the flooding down there. That was one of his campaign points. He said, I didn't know I had control over the tides, but that's all right. So,
Steve, you don't have to excuse me for everything, but you don't have to leave. Just receive the text statement that, vote support. And letter house. I was sending a text
Oh, okay.
from,
I would turn my phone off from my
yes,
wife.
exactly, from your wife.
Right?
Tell you, yeah.
We're on record here.
What? What's going on? All right, I'm gonna.
Just let him leave.
Can
Just
I
let him
just-
go.
So listen, I just left the testament from your wife. You don't have to go pick up your granddaughter.
Oh.
All right, so you can stay.
All right.
Or you can still go.
I don't know if that's good news or
I
bad
know.
news.
Maybe go check in.
So Lizzie, go ahead.
My football is going well. Biddy is open for registration. Sign your kids up, your grandkids up. And yeah, we're moving along.
Right, so,
Things are going well. Indoor volleyball started this Monday. We have 10 teams in one division. Are you playing?
No, I never know when I gotta.
That's right.
are we gonna have the over 50 basketball league? I've asked a lot of people coming to me.
You know what's funny is we had announced an
There's an
over
over
50 intramural drop-in and nobody seemed interested. It was last year.
No, this is a
Yep.
different year.
What? Oh, it's a different year now. So-
Yeah,
You
so,
know, you'll
that's
be
the
old
question.
in for that
Let's
lady.
use you, Steve. Huh?
You'll be old in for that lady.
Yeah. We got one on this one.
We're gonna have to make another division.
Uh-oh.
It's got a good section.
Yes.
No, I don't.
All right, so
All
are
right.
you open?
Oh, yeah, we did.
Nope.
Okay.
Haven't put anything on there, right?
All right, so I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn this.
Or do we want to ask, do we have public comment? Public?
I didn't know public comments was on the agenda.
No, we don't.
I mean,
If you usually give it to the.
Yeah, you can.
Sure. I mean, I think I'm known probably to a few of you, obviously, to the common council especially. My name is Andrew Leslie, I'm from Pomodoro. We're obviously one of the firms engaged in the litigation with Kingstonian, so of course I want to see what your discussion was about our fee tonight, obviously. So thank you all for having me. I will note, although it doesn't seem like I missed anything at the beginning of this meeting, the building is locked. And I think a few of you trying to attend. I think they got remedied, obviously. I will note as well, obviously, one of the things we've pointed out to common council and other boards and organizations before, and I know that obviously this body is advisory, and at the end of the day, as you all said, it's the planning board's decision here. You know, the parkland being given is not exactly parkland. Parkland, of course, has to be held by the city on behalf of the people. This will still be private land open to the public at certain times. And of course, I want to point out as well, between the Empire State Development Fund grant money and the DRI money, I think over $4 million was given specifically towards this project, towards the public plaza and the walkway. So, you know, we do object to the idea that they're providing this when really we're all providing it out of our tax money. And then on top of that, our recreation fees. So obviously you've all have already made a decision. It's advisory. Of course, the decision is really the planning board, but I did want to put that on the record. Yes, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
That was to the agenda for these meetings.
Thank you. Okay, so I'd like to adjourn this meeting. Make a motion.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Sir.
You have a soccer team you're going to.
Thanks, Brad.